correspondent in Washington, D.C., gives us the tea leaves. Good morning, Serena. Where are we with this?
Good morning. Well, the Senate has a hearing on this bill this afternoon, but Republicans on Capitol Hill seem pretty optimistic they can still get the 50 votes using the vice president as the tiebreaker to get this passed, but they are facing an uphill battle. You have Rand Paul with a no. John McCain publicly came out last week with a no. You have Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine, both leaning no. And so they are still optimistic, but they still have a long way to go.
What are we hearing about Ted Cruz? I heard he came out over the weekend and was critical of this bill.
Yeah, he did. He came out and he said they don't have his vote yet, and he also said he doesn't think they have Senator Mike Lee's either. But he said both of them want to get to a yes because I think this is their best chance of getting rid of Obamacare. But the price, he said, is going to be focusing on consumer freedom. So just last night we saw the party release a new bill. The Senate Republicans released an update to their bill. It gave more money to some of those on the fence, including Arizona, Kentucky, and Alaska. And it also took away some more of those consumer freedoms. It made it a little bit easier for states to get rid of those protections for people with pre-existing conditions, get rid of those essential health benefits. It made it a little bit easier for the marketplace in those states that wanted to, under this bill, to go around those things.
Anybody see the irony in giving Maine and Alaska all these kickbacks when they were critical of Ben Nelson in Nebraska for the Cornhusker kickback?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting, right, because they're targeting these people that they need to get to a yes. The thing is about this is they're probably not going to work. You have Murkowski of Alaska, her Health and Human Services Administrator, come out against this bill. You had her governor come out against this bill. You have Hospital Association in Alaska come out against this bill, because even with that kickback, it still drastically reduces the amount of Medicaid the state is receiving. And that's the big problem for her, is that even though they like the idea of states having more freedom, the amount of reduction in the overall spending for the state will just not be functional. So it's going to still be hard to get Murkowski to a yes. Same thing with Collins. These are fundamental issues on the underlying nature of this bill and the way it operates that they have problems with. But like I said, Senator Lindsey Graham over the weekend, he was on This Week. He said there's still a chance of passing it. We're moving forward.
The White House yesterday on one of the shows, it might have been This Week, might have been Meet the Press, said that pre-existing conditions will be covered, and there's everybody saying that this bill will take away pre-existing conditions. What's the consumer, or what's the voter to believe if you're hearing two different issues?
Well, so the way this bill works is it's a technicality here, it leaves those protections in place, but it allows the states to opt for a waiver. If they get granted this waiver, which they just have to prove that these people will have reasonably priced health care, then they allow them to charge those with pre-existing conditions, and it's spelled out in the legislation. You can go read it. Those with pre-existing health conditions more money. So, well, it does keep that protection in place. It allows the state to choose to opt out of that protection if they can prove they'll still have reasonably affordable health care. But the problem is there is no definition of what reasonably affordable health care is, and it does say that they can be charged more. So that's where that nuance comes from. And if you're looking at the states that get that waiver, those essential health benefits, those pre-existing conditions, will not have to be proven to be protected.
Serena Marshall, they have to get this done by Saturday, right?
Exactly. September 30th, reconciliation for this bill runs out. After that point, they would need 60 votes in order to pass this legislation, which seems very unlikely. And so they have to do something by September 30th if they wanted to move it forward, repeal and replace, with only the 50 votes. And over the weekend, they're facing more pressure, I should say, McGraw, from the groups, the American Medical Association, the American Health Insurance Plans, the American Hospital Association, all coming together in a joint statement. And in this statement, they said, we rarely agree on issues of important health. They're normally on opposite sides of the platform. But on this issue, we agree, and the Senate bill is simply unworkable. They said the Senate should reject it. So we'll see how this all plays out during that hearing today at 2 o'clock.
Serena Marshall, ABC News correspondent in Washington. Great stuff. Thanks for checking in.
Thanks.